All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bernard Cana. I'm the editor-photographer of the website known as the Photo Pit. Over to my right is Danny Mazzeo. He is our editor-photographer for the website known as The Threshold. We are here. We're back once again to discuss Blue Ridge Rock Festival artist announcements, and we have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going through numbers 75 through 87 because, unfortunately, I could not cover on Friday because I was covering another festival over the weekend. So don't mind my exhausted face because that's how I feel right now. But we have a lot to discuss today, a lot to discuss. So we're gonna go over all that fun stuff. Before we do get started though, I do want to talk about something real quick. And we normally don't do stuff like this, but this was, when I saw this release drop today, it was for such a worthy cause. I feel like it needs to be discussed and talked about real quick. Mark Tremonti, guitarist of, and part-time singer for Alter Bridge, because he does some of the lead vocals on some of those songs, and also for lead singer and guitarist for his own band Tremonti, announced today that he has partnered up with the National Down Syndrome Society to do an album that's being called Tremonti Sings Sinatra, and we're talking about Frank Sinatra, and that all the proceeds from that album is going to be going to the National Down Syndrome Society. And it's a huge charitable cause. His daughter, Stella, who was born a year ago, was unfortunately diagnosed with Down syndrome. And they came up with this idea like right at that time, I guess right afterwards, because he's always been a Sinatra fan. He loves singing Sinatra. And the first single that he's released is out. It's on YouTube. I just posted the release over on the Photo Pit website. So over at thephotopit.com. I ask you, please go check it out. Go listen, go watch the video on YouTube and have your mind blown away by the crooning of Mark Tremonti, because it is absolutely amazing. And the fact that this album is going to be going to charitable cause, the album comes out May 27th, by the way. So we'll probably get a few more singles before that album actually gets released. But I'll tell you, I'm going to pick up the album because it's for a great charitable cause, and please do so. Because I mean, I'm a Tremonti fan as it is, so I mean that's kind of a no-brainer. But it was just so good. But I felt like we need to talk about that because it is, it's for a great cause. So, have you listened to it yet, Danny? At all? Have you watched the single?
Honestly, I didn't know that existed yet.
Oh yeah,
you have. Yeah. So I am really excited, for one, as a Sinatra fan, but for two, being a huge Tremonti fan too. Like, the dude is just beyond talented, and Sinatra is not. It reminds me of like when Lady Gaga did that collaboration with Tony Bennett, right? Yeah. Like you just have something completely out in left field for that type of a genre. I mean, it's just, I can't wait. I'm really awesomely excited about that. And Doug, I love where your head's at. As far as we know, it is not a hint in any capacity. This is entirely a off the cuff, awesome cause from Tremonti, awesome musician, just something that we both feel very passionately about that deserves a little bit of extra time and attention this evening.
Yeah, it absolutely does, because I am more than happy to promote anything from any musical artist that is doing charity work for someone, no matter who it is. Within reason, obviously, because there are some charities that, I don't consider them charities because it's like, usually it's political. Like we're going to leave that alone.
Me, I consider myself a charity. So,
yes.
We've got that.
It's for, medical charities in some way, shape, or form. I am more than happy to help promote those. And when I read this today, I was just like, I can't not talk about it tonight.
It's huge. I love seeing stuff like that. I really do.
Yeah. And it's so good. He's so good with it. It's like, I knew from the get-go, I'm like, I looked at my wife and I said, I know when I'm going to click this button, this is going to be stellar. And it was beyond belief better than I thought.
Good choice of words for that too. It's going to be stellar.
It is going to be stellar. It is.
I'm just thinking of his daughter, Stella. So,
Yes.
Save the puppies and the kiddos. Absolutely, Courtney.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So in any case, and no, this is not a hint that I am aware of. So someone, let me go forward something. Somebody actually DM'd me over the weekend and asked me straight, do you know any of the, bands and stuff that are coming, the headline or anything? The answer is no. I don't know anything. I come on board and get surprised as much as everyone else is. And this is the
Look at
reason
him.
why I love doing this
Look at
live
this guy.
stream,
You
because
think
I
he knows
don't know. I don't know. And now, let me put it this way. Could I have asked someone to maybe hand me the lineup and get a look at it? Probably. Do I want it? No, I don't, because I'd rather be surprised like everyone else is, because it's more fun that way. So no, I don't know anything about the stuff. I don't know what's coming. So if you see me wearing a certain t-shirt, it's probably because my other stuff's in the laundry. And or maybe I just like watching the band, wearing the band t-shirt today. Today was for Mark, so this is the closest one I had for him. So that's the reason I'm doing it. Any case, all right. I don't know, Doug. Are you a charity? I don't think you'd be considered a charity, so we can't help you with that. All right. Let's should we get to work? Should we get to talking about
I think we should. We have a lot to get through tonight. And
yeah, well,
I'm all about boring people who apparently enjoy listening to me bore them, which is awesome. But I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be boring myself, and at some point I'm gonna have to stop. So let's do this.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna go through. Oh my gosh. We're talking about all the artists that got announced Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today. Bear with us, people. 5 days worth of stuff. Danny, just so you know, preluded with, maybe you should try to cut these short. No, we're going to talk about them like we always do. So, stick with us.
I tried. My ADD is kicking in already.
All right. It's fine. So, Thursday was the interesting day, because Thursday, in one of the hints from the prior night, on Wednesday night, right, from the artists that were announced, we got who was the last one? It was Crazy Town was the last one on Wednesday. And I think it was in that announcement they said that the next announcements for Thursday were going to be all rock artists. And yes, they were. And holy, where's my bleep button? Holy bleep. I was, keen and loved every one of them that came out. So let's start going through them. Number 75. So we're talking about an American rock band that came out of Mississippi, formed back in 1996. Holy, that's a long time ago. Do we have to play? Was Amanda
I don't even know if
alive then?
Amanda's on with us, but are we doing our over under, because that's definitely
that's the under. I know she was born before that, so she was around. Their first release album, 11th best-selling album of the year, ended up going platinum 6 times. That's 6 million sales on an album.
I mean, no big deal.
Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. Nothing huge. The name of that album, for those who are curious, was known as The Better Life. The band that we're talking about that was announced as Three Doors Down. So let's go through and talk a little about their discography, because, man, this band has had so many freaking radio hits. It's just disgusting to a point. Better Life was their debut album in 2000. That, by the way, that's now 22 years old. I'll talk about that in a second. Away from the Sun came out in 2002. That's a solid album. 17 Days in 2005, another fantastic album. Their self-titled Three Doors Down was out in 2008. Time of My Life in 2011, and the last album they've had released surprisingly, is still like 6 years ago, was Us in the Night. So that's the whole discography on the band. Now, it's like, I just couldn't believe like the Better Life had like just blown away, just so many hits so many times. Away from the Sun went platinum within 2 months of release. Think about that, people. 2 months?
It's huge.
2 months.
But
it is huge.
All right, so just to put that into perspective, though, so the Better Life, and I shared this with you, Bernard, when they were first announced.
Mm-hmm.
I distinctly remember going to Circuit City and buying that album for $6.99, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So
crazy.
From a cost perspective, maybe it was a little bit more affordable to be able to go platinum back then. I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, and just some quick hits, right? So the Better Life had Kryptonite, Loser, Duck and Run. Like, those are the major singles off that one. Away from the Sun had When I'm Gone, Here Without You. God, such a great song. And The Road I'm On. the third album, 17 Days, went platinum. That has been certified as platinum. That had Let Me Go, Behind Those Eyes, and the big one, Landing in London, that Bob Seger did some backup on.
Yep.
What was the other one? Their fourth album, their actual self-titled, hit the Billboard 200 like every one of those other ones did. It became their second consecutive #1 album on the charts. I don't think that did go platinum. I mean, but you know, like this band is just, oh, I don't know. It's just like hit after hit after hit with them, right? I mean, this
So there's one song that they have that always just, I don't know, I just immediately associate them with, right? So they had that song Citizen Soldier.
oh yeah, I forgot that one.
Fantastic song, and obviously very, very much in support of our troops and our, you know, all of our military men and women. Just outstanding song, outstanding message. What I really remember about it though is that they had a clip of their video, or it was done for the intro to, I think it was Regal Cinemas. Like before all of their movies, they, you know, during their previews and everything, it was always just a clip of them performing that. And so I hear Three Doors Down. I'm immediately thinking of Circuit City and my 699 epic win. And I'm also thinking of being in high school and going out to the movies and being able to see that. So just that's my 2 cents of tidbits of absolutely useless, awesome knowledge.
Right. I want to talk to something though. So Megan said here she disagreed with the standing on the lineup because they were at number, I guess it's like they were number 8 or something like that, and they're higher than A Day to Remember. I understand. I don't disagree with you to a point about like the way that some of the standings are, because I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I mean, but you have to remember this is a band that is like just sold upon sold album after album after album. It's kind of hard not to put them up in the top 10. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's I understand like where they're sitting and why they are. But
you also have to take it into perspective, right? This is going to be 4 days of music. So
yeah.
The top 12, you're talking the top 3 bands from the nights, not to mention across 5 stages, right? Like, I mean, it's where they are in the lineup on the page doesn't necessarily mean that they are the closeout. It also doesn't mean that they're not.
Yeah.
So,
and Megan, with your saying, when you say not popular now, oh, you'd be surprised how popular Three Doors Down still is, because they just had their 20th anniversary tour, because I got to cover that with Seether was on there with them, and all of those shows were packed houses for Three Doors Down. I mean, trust me, I get it, you know, everyone has their different taste in music and stuff, but they're still, even though they haven't had new music recently, they are still so well known. You know, they've had like songs on TV multiple times, like sellout hits after hits, platinum albums after platinum albums. I mean, this, you know, it's hard to deny, you know, where Three Doors Down stands in the music industry as their, you know, as a powerhouse, because they're a rock powerhouse. I mean, I can't say they're not. You know, even if they haven't had an album out in 6 years, you know, people still will know, you know, half of those songs still from The Better Life and remember them because they're just that memorable, you know. So that's just my 2 cents on it. But you know, I understand, I get your perspective about them compared to, you know, some of the other artists that are on the lineup so far. I get you. I'm with you. All right. Well, what 31? Well, then, you know, I wouldn't be surprised though if like even a younger audience knows who they are. That wouldn't shock me. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Hey, look,
You know,
Superman is still alive. Superman is still around.
Yeah.
So, you know, just sing along. Everybody would sing along. It'd be a good time.
It's probably, well, I'm not going to say it now. But in any case, yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's see here. So our next band, another rock band, out of Canada, North Delta, British Columbia, to be exact.
And they know
this
that
band,
Virginia's up.
Okay. This band was formed in 1999. They originally signed their first record label to 604 Records, which is Chad Kroeger from Nickelback's record label. Their first album had a single that actually made it onto the Spider-Man soundtrack, the movie soundtrack. And I'm talking about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man back years ago. And
That
I
was
said when,
right.
yeah. And when I first saw them live, my wife will attest to this, who's sitting over there. When I first saw them live at a festival here local where I live, I had said, these guys are going to blow up one day and they're going to make it big. And they absolutely have. And the band that I'm talking about is Theory of a Deadman. Not Theory anymore. Theory of a Deadman. So let's quickly run through a little about these guys. Discography. So their self-titled album came out in 2002. Then they had in 2005 Gasoline. 2008 was Scars and Souvenirs. 2011 was The Truth Is. 2014 was Savages. 2017 was Wake Up Call. And 2020 was Say Nothing. Now, I will tell you that these guys for music they've just blown up anything and everything you could think of, especially with rock radio. These guys are huge hits. And if you haven't heard Medicate from them, then you're probably living under a rock somewhere, because that's been probably one of their recent biggest singles that's hit everywhere. And they were recently on tour and I covered their show too. And that was a fantastic show. Yeah, so there you go. So Danny, give me your Theory of a Deadman, because then I want to talk about something with them too.
Yeah, so Theory is a fun band. This is a band, the first time, it may have been the first time, it may have been second at that point, I don't remember. But I saw them shortly after I graduated college, and they were on it was a tiny free show in Baltimore on a radio show. And I remember having a chance to meet them, and just the nicest guys. And you figure this was 15 years ago and change at this point, and they were just awesome. And so I've been following them since. For me, especially, you meet somebody and it can make or break you. You tend to put rock stars on this pedestal, which is fair. And if they're going to come off as arrogant, you're probably going to be a little turned off by them. But these guys were just the nicest, humblest guys. And I think there was something I was bantering with you about when this was announced too. It was like, I kind of want to go and bust out the old photo of me with them, but at the same time, I know better, because I'm not going to say that I've aged gracefully, but it's not the most aesthetically pleasing picture that I've got. We'll put it that way.
I get you.
It was a really cool time. Seen them probably half dozen to a dozen times more since, between festival circuits, one-offs, what have you. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them again.
Yeah, like I said, I've just recently have seen them. Who were they with?
Doug, you nailed it, man.
Shaman's Harvest. That's what it was. They were Shaman's Harvest. I mean, and it was a fantastic. I mean, this is the tour that got rescheduled 9 times over. They were supposed to be at Blue Ridge last year, and they dropped because they postponed the tour because of pandemic scenarios and whatnot. They decided not to tour. So yeah, I mean, it's just I get it. And they are the nicest guys. I've met them, and it's just they're very humble, they're very down to earth, and they're a great band. Now, let me talk about something that Megan kind of brought up too. They are way low on the lineup level on the official website than where they should be. And whoever's listening about this to fix this, they should be fixed, because this is a band that has had #1 rock radio hits over and over and over again. And when they're all the way down by Seven Dust, I felt insulted. I really did. I know, I love my Seven Dust, that. And unfortunately, Theory of a Deadman has just been a bigger hit status when it came to rock radio, and with their #1s, and they should be way higher on that list than where they are. I'm just saying. Personal opinion. So Amanda says I should throw a festival and put them where I want to. So fair. Done. Maybe I'll do that when I have that kind of money. But in any case, there we go. That's my 2 cents. Danny's like, I'm staying out of it.
Yep. Sitting back. Just sitting back.
All right. Talking about number 77. So another rock band. This came out of Salem, Ohio. They were formed back in 2013. I think everyone knows them for their debut album, was just friggin' huge with, the song My Demons was massive for them when they came out. And so far they've just been a big hit. And I think one of the reasons why they were a massive hit, it wasn't just their music, but it was their stage. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to use the word props. That's not the right word. Stage presence will be one of them, but I guess like their stage performances and all the stuff that they would bring right to the
on-stage personas that they carry.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, their on-stage persona was just huge and caught everyone's attention in the world. I mean, on top of that, good music.
I mean, it's pretty interstellar if you ask me.
Yeah, good. I see what you did there. So, any case,
my first day feeling really good in over a week and a half. So you got rare form with me tonight, and I'm almost apologetic for it.
Won't be apologetic for it. You're fine. So, but the band we're talking about is another Blue Ridge Rock Festival return of Starset. And I just love them, but I have to call out. So it's not just Starset returning, right? If I remember the announcement correctly, it's Starset returning with their full stage performance. So I'm kind of going under the assumption that they bringing back the astronaut suits and everything else that they would bring, like the cellos on stage and whatnot. That's my suspicion, but I don't know what it meant. So, but that's what I'm suspecting is going to happen. So quick notes here. First debut album Transmissions came out in 2014. That actually hit and peaked on the Billboard 200 number 49. Not bad for your debut album, right? Vessels, yeah. Vessels came out then in 2017. That peaked at number 11 on the Billboard 200. Divisions, which was their third album in 2019, peaked at number 37. And then their last album, Horizons, they did with Fearless Records. The prior one, Divisions, with Fearless too, came out in 2021. It didn't hit the Billboard 200. It peaked at number 38 on the US rock charts. So, but just for example, so people are aware, like how popular was My Demons, that single? That thing, let me take a look here. Where did it say? Was certified platinum in digital single sales.
I had that in common. My Demons would too.
Yep. Yeah, right. Yeah, but Starset, yeah, love them, absolutely love them. Danny, what's your experiences with Starset?
Aside from the outstanding performance and their stage presence, I would say the only other high note that's worth hitting right now is the rest of their announcement on the commentary within the announcement on Facebook and Instagram, and that was a special acoustic performance.
Forgot about that. Thank you.
It wasn't just announced in this for them. It also referenced a special acoustic performance for the band that was announced right before them. So you got Theory of a Deadman and Starset both coming with the VIP Rockstar Experience acoustic set. So there's the plug that is always needed of, if you haven't gotten the VIP tickets, in and of itself, these acoustic performances are out. It's just going to be, again, for lack of a better pun, out of this world. So yeah. It's just going to be awesome. It really is.
And it will be. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind they will be.
That type of experience in and of itself, yeah. Just bring it on. I'm really, really, really excited about what we have going on already.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, Theory of a Deadman. Let me step back for a second with Theory of a Deadman. Acoustic, I've never heard them play that before, but there are just so many singles in their list that I can think of the top of my head that are just so built for that.
Good. Yes.
And one of them is like my favorite all-time song. It's called Santa Monica. That was off their album Gasoline. Oh, that song. It's like it's built for acoustic music. And I'm hoping that, number one, I'm hoping I could actually see it. And number two, I hope they play it in the on that acoustic set, because it is such a just perfectly built song for that. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to that. It's a good song. It's a slower one, but it's good.
Real quick before we shift over onto what I guess Friday's announcements.
Yes.
I want to harp on these awesome puns for just a moment and say, particularly while we're talking about Theory here, right? So yet again, I have to acknowledge you being my bad girlfriend, as was so called out in the fan zone for those that weren't paying attention. I'm a big fan of puns, big shock, I'm sure. But to be able to take song titles and be able to like craft a story or something like that,
Hilarious.
I have fun. So for those that were willing to humor me and laugh at me or with me, whichever it was, thank you. But yeah, bad girlfriend, going through changes. I was there without you, Bernard, and I'm glad we're back. So let's move on to Friday with that being.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Next one. Heavy metal band.
Everybody.
Heavy metal band. I guess I guess I call them heavy metal. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, they kind of bleed maybe into metalcore a little bit, but out of Boston, Massachusetts, founded around 2000 by two high school friends. So there you go. I think like they've become really most popular with, their album, The Silver Scream, which was songs about all horror movies, which is phenomenal. I love that. And then they had their sequel, The Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood, and their get up and their performance on stage and just their vibe that they have. And it's, come on, I mean, let's be real. You're a lyrical genius if you could write music and heavy metal to go with horror movies and then do it twice. I mean, it's just
No. Every one of their albums does it.
Yes, but they're not all horror stuff. That's the thing. Not all of them are horror. There was the one prior to The Silver Scream is all about literary fiction. We'll figure that one out.
Yeah,
no, it is. It absolutely is.
No, that's fair. So yeah,
right.
to your point, the horror, the literary, just connections that they are able to go down these rabbit holes with, just outstanding.
Talented group.
Really
the band we're talking about, who is another return from Blue Ridge Rock Festival from last year, is Ice Nine Kills. So you can't go wrong with them. So let's go real quick through their discography. 2006 was actually their first release. That was called The Last Chance to Make Amends. In 2010 was Safe as Just a Shadow. 2014 was The Predator Becomes the Prey. In 2015 was Every Trick in the Book. 2018 was The Silver Scream. And that, believe it or not, that was the first time I've heard of them was from that album. And then The Silver Scream 2 in 2021, Welcome to Horrorwood. And just really quickly here, was it this one? Yeah, so Every Trick in the Book, Danny, just so you're aware, like going through the list, literary inspiration was Animal Farm, The Exorcist, Dracula, Alive, the story of the Andes survivors, Romeo and Juliet, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Go Ask Alice, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, Tess of the Dubervilles, and Carrie. So not all horror stuff, but it was all literary stuff.
I don't know, man. Romeo and Juliet was pretty horrific.
Right. So romance. It's not horrific. I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it.
And it really depends on which version.
Well, I like Shakespeare, so I mean, I didn't see an issue.
I was going to go after the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh.
But I will say that had an amazing soundtrack too. Anyway, so.
Anyway.
Yeah, Ice Nine Kills. Oh my God, dude. I don't even know if it's my turn to talk, but this is definitely one I'm willing to talk about.
Talk.
Their stage presence is absolutely friggin' insane. Just beyond all over the place. Energy, adrenaline, props, just insanity, just pure insanity. And you look at some of the collaborations that they've done over the last few albums. You look at the theatrics that they've pulled together. This is a huge opportunity to see them for those that haven't. And even if you have, I would be shocked if you're saying to yourself, not really gonna go. Like it's an experience.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. Now, I didn't get to see them last year at Blue Ridge. Did you see them last year?
I was running some additional volunteer work during their set I caught about a song, and that was
So the question was, they weren't in their horror like garb like they've done in the past, though, right? They
I
were dressed
don't
differently.
I don't believe so, but I was too
Okay.
far back to be able to see well, unfortunately. So, hey, if you are watching and you happen to see them last year, please add your comments. Would love to catch some updates on that. But from where from what I heard of them, they sounded great. I just wasn't in a position to really be able to see their sets.
Yeah, I was curious. I didn't, because I thought they did not wear it, which kind of surprised me that, because they've been pushing this for so long.
Amanda says yes.
They
Yes,
were wearing the garb. Okay, cool. All right. That's all. I
Thank
wasn't
you.
sure. I thought somebody had said they
Keep
were.
us in check. For the love of God,
But
keep
it
us.
wasn't there. I couldn't see it. So, okay. But yeah, that's a.
Yeah,
I just think
white
those,
coats severed head. I love when they do that.
yeah, they're. I mean, they were. Somebody says they're dressed in suits because that's normal or whatever. Right. Suits are normal. No, I meant like their horror garb, like like Spencer came out in like Freddy stuff last time.
I love that they did their song on for American Psycho, and they had Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach in that video. And what got me is, so my wife and I are huge fans of the movie American Psycho, and anytime that we're like scrolling through radio or anything, and there's any kind of a Huey Lewis reference, we immediately just go straight to the American Psycho commentary. And so the fact that Ice Nine Kills busted out some Huey Lewis in the middle of their song is it's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. So that's all I got.
I did catch who said it here. Hang on. Gotta go back. Yeah, that parody of Stacy's mom with Jason's mom. That was, Cordy mentioned that was brilliantly done. I must have played that at least like 10 times a day it released. That was so funny.
I mean, look at their cover of Elvis, right? Can't Help Falling in Love. And if you haven't seen that video, I
haven't seen that video. All right, I have to go find that one too.
It's a great spin. If they were to do an album of Elvis, I would not be sad. I would not be sad at all.
Okay. Dead Elvis or alive Elvis?
Well, I couldn't really care. I mean, if they wanted to dress up like Elvis and marry somebody at the venue, I would be fine with that too.
Okay, fair enough. All right, moving on here.
Yes.
All right, so
in the news.
Now we're getting into Fridays, right? Fridays announcements.
We're still
this
on Fridays.
one. Yeah, I will say this one threw me, and I did not see this one coming at all. Period. Another rock band, Memphis, Tennessee, 1996. They were pretty popular back in the day, I will say. But then something happened where there was a separation. And I don't know if I would say that they maintained that popularity that they had. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think they did, but that's, that was my opinion. But for Blue Ridge Rock Festival, we have a reunion of sorts with this band. The band I'm discussing is Saliva, and for one night only at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2022, original vocalist Josie Scott is going to come back to perform with them. Holy crap. You got my attention. I will say that. You definitely have my attention. This is, and I know there's probably people out there who are kind of be like, oh, well, they're so old, they're long gone, blah, blah, blah. Like, why are we bringing up? Number one, it's Saliva. Number two, it's Josie Scott. And you put Josie Scott back with Saliva again, and nostalgia reigns strong with this one. With the number of hits that they've had and their performances together, there is no doubt in my mind that Saliva is going to blow the roof off of the Blue Ridge Rock Festival during their set. No question at all.
I can just see in my mind already when they play click, click, boom.
Oh, it's done right there.
The entire place is going to just go nuts.
Yeah, they're going to go crazy.
Brian,
Crazy.
if they don't kill each other 3 songs in, so long as they play that song, it's all gonna be fine. Just good vibes, man. Good vibes. It's gonna go
Yeah.
great.
And then quickly just to go over their discography of how long they've actually, are still active. 1997 was their self-titled debut. In 2001 was the second album, Every 6 Seconds. 2002 was Back Into Your System. 2004 was Survival of the Sickest, and I think that's the one that had, if I remember correctly, Click Click Boom came off of that. Was that right? No. What was that one? Nope. Oh, that was Every 6 Seconds that came off of. All right. Then Bloodstained Love Story came out in 2007. Cinco Diablo was 2008. Under Your Skin was 2011. In It to Win It was 2013. Rise Up 2014. Love Lies in Therapy in 2016. And then 10 Lives in 2018. So this band has stayed active and relevant over these years, even without Josie being there. But the fact now that he's going to come back to do a one-time performance with them again, yeah. What more do I need to say?
There's a movie that I think should be referenced at this time as it relates to Saliva,
Which is
also with Click Click Boom. In Talladega Nights, as in one of the race scenes, that song is on, and you just feel the adrenaline. And so I feel it is my duty on this live stream. They were soliciting ideas of who should host this year's Blue Ridge Rock Festival. And
yes.
I think it should be none other than Ricky Bobby.
I think that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Virginia International Raceway, and I am now on record saying Ricky Bobby needs to host.
That would be brilliant. That actually would be pretty brilliant.
Make dreams come true.
True. And that's a hard one now to one up. Yeah. Okay.
So anybody on this stream, if we can go ahead and get that going, because that would be life-changing.
We're looking at you.
And all the fans, as a fan-driven festival, I am wholeheartedly endorsing Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Yes, we know he's a fictional character, but that would still be hilarious. Think about this. Will Ferrell comes to host the Blue Ridge Rock Festival as Ricky Bobby the entire week for 4 days. Oh, people will just that simple. Just that simple. Sorry about that. My mom was calling. I'll call you back, Mom.
Can you patch her in? Can we patch her into the live stream? Because that would be wonderful.
No. We're not gonna do that. Anyway, all right. So moving on. All right, next.
Make it happen, guys. Come on, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, let's
first or last.
All right. So the next one, we're going into Amanda's favorite genre, metalcore. Boston, Massachusetts, founded in 1998. It's a long time. 7 studio albums that released. I will be honest, I've heard of them and have not listened to their music. Bad on me. But I knew who they were, at least by name, when I saw this. So the band that got announced right behind the Saliva announcement was Unearth. So their quick discography here. Their first album came out in 2001, was known as The Stings of Conscious. 2004 was The Oncoming Storm. 2006 was 3, as in Roman numeral 3, In the Eyes of Fire. 2008 was called The March. 2011, Darkness in the Light. 2014, Watchers of Rule. And 2018 was Extinction, but has an S in parentheses, so Extinction, Extinctions. So, and I know that the fans were, when I looked at the announcement, the fans were thrilled about it. I'm like, okay, I'm game to listen. I just haven't had a chance to listen to them because I've been a little busy, unfortunately, the past couple of days. What do you know about them, Danny?
Fun, loud, energetic, crazy. Band is definitely one I have wanted to see for a long time. Did not think I would ever get to. So, it's just one of those, I tend to forget about them until all of a sudden they show up and bring it on. So,
Yeah,
I'm
good. All right, one more band that I can add to my list of who I haven't heard yet. I will listen to. All right, Unearth. Amanda, do you have any recommendations of singles? Drop those in the comments, please,
Yes, please.
and I will.
And
I'll give my listen.
I'm going to do my own shameless plug here for a second.
Sure.
If you are looking for a little sampler of the artists, I have created a Spotify playlist, as I think probably a dozen others in the fan zone have done as well. Mine is linked at the top of the Threshold Facebook page. So head over there, check out the Spotify playlist. I'm over 24 hours in with roughly on average 4 songs per artist that has been dropped, continuing to add as they're announced. But so Bernard, I expect you to go and find some Unearth on that and give it a listen.
What is this Spotify you talk about?
Not
No,
a
that's not a
promotion.
paid promotion, YouTube. It's
Not
not.
a
We're
paid
not paid by them.
promotion. Okay,
We
just
have to
the
say that.
easiest way to compile this playlist. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. We
Since
have
I
to
can't
state that, though.
plug you into my music collection here at the house.
Yes. So we have to state that. Sorry. It's all right. Any case. All right. Let's see. She says my will be done, Great Divider, and Incinerate. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I'll look for those. All right. Next one. Another rock band out of Decatur, Illinois. They formed in 2007. Their first album, though, didn't release until 2011. Once again, this is another band I think I've heard of by name, but not heard of, like, at least, it's possible I probably have listened to something and not recognized. Like the song you ever hear, like, you hear a single and you're like, oh, who is that? And then you're like, oh, okay, that's right. That's what it is. But the band is Icon for Hire. You think I have? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that I never have those moments because I always know who it is.
Okay. I have those moments, but I'm old. So all right. They actually had 2 EPs that released before their first studio album. Their EP was called Icon for Hire EP in 2008. Then they had in 2009 The Gray. Then they had their first studio album release in 2011 that was known as Scripted. That peaked at 95 on the Billboard 200. So they went out the gate pretty strong. Then they had a self-titled studio album in 2013, and that peaked at number 66 on the Billboard 200. You Can't Kill Us came out in 2016. That peaked at 180 on the Billboard 200. Then they had Still Can't Kill Us acoustic sessions. It sounded like it's more of a, probably a redo of You Can't Kill Us, but they did that acoustically. That unfortunately did not chart in the 200s. And then Amorphous, which came out in 2021, just last February. And they did that independently, but that didn't show as being, at least not from the data I have here, charted on the Billboard 200. But that was their last album, was Amorphous. So I'm assuming you know of them and have heard them?
Yes, huge fan. Scripted, I listened to that. I wore that disc out, man. It was just absolutely incredible. They kind of went into more of a popish realm after that, which was fun, and then they've kind of steered back. But for me, Scripted was just such an absolutely epic album. Everything off of that to me was just great, and I followed them since, and not as heavily, but when they were announced, I was absolutely blown away. You will see me fangirling over them at the show with zero qualms. This band I saw perform. I think I told you before we kicked this off. This band I actually saw. I thought it was a VFW. I'm looking back at my my notes. I'm a complete geek. I keep track of what I've seen and where on an Excel doc. Been keeping this sheet going since 1997. So yes, I'm a total nerd, and I'm totally okay with that. So I had to pull this up. It was the Annapolis Knights of Columbus. So basically like the size of a VFW, maybe a little. The stage was basically like a pallet. Think about the pallets that you see. Yeah, like that was basically their stage. And they opened up for Sent by Ravens and Emery, and it was absolutely nuts.
Okay.
So been following them since. Again, I will lose my mind at their set. That's right, Courtney. Don't underestimate the power of nerds.
I can't even fathom if I tracked every concert I've seen now on, you know, a spreadsheet somewhere. I don't know if I'd have enough room.
It's funny. It was actually something that my old man challenged me to do, probably like 5 shows in. So he's like, it's something that he regretted not doing. And I mean, he was, you know, he caught Zeppelin at Madison Square Garden in the 70s, like, you know, like things like that. Yeah. So it's like, you should try to keep tabs of the stuff that you've gone to. And I was like, okay. And eventually I added another column of not just who and the where and the when, but also who I went with. And, you know, so, and then I've got, you know, little notes of this is something that was really cool that happened there. And it's a fun opportunity to go down memory lane and say, holy crap.
Yeah. I have, for the past, you know, 5 years, my photo album I keep of all my passes and tickets from those shows. So I keep, like, recently I've been doing that in that sense, you know, but I do that more to keep my photo pass somewhere so I could always go back and look at, you know, what shows I covered over so much time. But I used to keep tickets, like, you know, the actual
you forgot
tickets.
my virtual background this evening. Shame on me, but I mean, you can see behind me, I've got I've got ticket stubs up on the wall behind me. So yeah, it's I do miss having the physical stubs.
All right, so there's another one I'll have to throw on the list of you know, another band I got to listen to that I haven't listened to yet. Spotify list, right?
Ariel's voice is just she crushes it, man.
Okay. Let's see here. Or I think was Icon the last. Were they the last one on Friday, if I remember correctly?
Was this next? I believe this next one was Saturday morning. So yes.
Yeah. So
if not, you know,
we got 6 to go.
No, forever.
All right. So this next one, once again, metalcore. Definitely in my mind, metalcore. Based out of Los Angeles, California, founded in 2009. And I actually do know this band. Not only do I know this band, I love this band. You know, a lot of their, I don't even know, like the way like somebody described this is like groove-driven breakdowns as part of their music and very bouncy guitar riffs. And I can kind of see like this is a band to me that gets you moving, you know, on the floor. Even if it's not in a pit, you know, but on the floor will have you.
No, you can't stand still for this band.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Can't. And I was very excited actually when I saw this announcement. I was like, this is great because I haven't had a chance to see them live yet. And the band I'm discussing here is Volumes. So their first album came out in 2011, called Via. 2014 was their next one called No Sleep. They then released with Fearless Records, and so the album was called Different Animals. And then in 2021 was their most recent with Happier, with a question mark. And then they had 2 EPs that were released in 2010. Was their first EP before their first studio album. That was called The Concept of Dreaming. And then in 2019 with Fearless Records, right in between their 2 studio albums with them, was Coming Clean. And yeah, I love this pick. I love this addition to the festival. It's like, as much as I like The Rock, you know, that was announced, I kind of felt like people were feeling like there was a trend going, you know, with the music. And I'm kind of sitting there going, be patient. I know that in my heart there was stuff coming that's going to get back into that other side of the heavier stuff that people apparently want to see more of, you know, even for a rock festival. And Volumes is a great addition for that. Yeah, I put them like right along not the same music, but along the same lines of We Came as Romans. You know, it's like the music's different between them both, but I feel like that's the type of vibe that we're starting to see a lot more of on the festival, which I love. I absolutely love it. It's great.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely right there with you, and I'm excited about them. Gauging by the comments, I would say that the fan zone mods that are hanging out with us right now are all rather enamored with this band as well, and I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, I'm pumped for them. I don't like to stand still anyway. I'm sure that's a big shock. So bring it on.
What, you don't like standing still, Danny? I can't understand
No,
that.
like, yeah, yeah. It doesn't really fit me well.
Okay, that's fair. Um, this next announcement, this next
Huge, huge.
but this one is near and dear to me for a reason. Um, the band's out of Southwest Virginia. Um,
Say it
unfortunately,
again.
I don't rem Southwest Virginia. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't remember like when they started because I just didn't go digging back through my interview that I did with them and I needed to. I just didn't have time today. Um, but this is let me say this. This is a band, they're metalcore. They're um two vocalists, female that does the unclean, male that does the clean. And the first time I heard their music for that blew my mind. I was like, what? But when I saw them live last year at Blue Ridge Rock Festival, that blew my mind even more because their stage presence is ridiculously strong. Their music is
Yeah.
throwdown heavy, and I just could not get enough of that set. And they do everything themselves. Their promotion, their pushing, their booking, it's all independently done on their own. And I feel like they have grown so big now after that performance last year for them to come back again this year to be independent, like that they were. I'm trying to think how to put this. So last year, if anyone remembers, a lot of the rising talent artists were usually grouped together and like in batches. Like you would probably get like four of them as one announcement, which was okay. I mean, that was fine. But for them to be now individually featured in their own announcement, I just thought was just kudos to Blue Ridge for
Well
doing that.
deserved.
And
Yeah.
absolutely kudos for them because they deserve to come back. And this band that I'm discussing is Dying Oath. And if you did not see their set last year, do not miss it this year because it will be so, so good and you will never regret it. You just won't.
This is
And
one of those bands that you
uh,
want to be able to look back and say, I remember seeing them when.
and I
And
can say that.
yeah, yeah.
And not
So
only can I say
I
that,
got nothing to add on that other than you've got to check them out leading up to, and you've got to see their set because it will
oh yeah,
blow your.
go for those of you I have a plan of something, but I got to see if I can arrange it. But for those of you who want to actually learn more about them, photopit.com, I have a whole section of festivals that's and the menu headers. Go digging back there or just go use the search bar and go look for it. Go look up Dying Oath and go see the interview I did with them last year. Because when the rising talent and the lineup got fully announced, I threw out in the fan zone an offer to do interviews with any of the rising talent groups to get the fans to know them better. And Dying Oath was one of them who hit me up first to say, could we? And I said, we can, and let's do it. And we did. And I had the whole band on it on a big Zoom call and talked to all of them. And it was a great discussion. They're the nicest people. I think the only one who wasn't there was, I'm trying to remember. Oh, my brain is like so bad right now. Who wasn't there? It was Jacob, their male vocalist. He couldn't make it. But everyone else was there at the time, and they were just the nicest people. And then when I saw them at their set on that day, it was like, I mean, I was just literally blown away. And I will say this, for a rising talent, they probably had one of the biggest attendees that came to their set. And it was like, here you have this group of people that were there, and it was a pretty solid group to start. But as they played, it grew more and more and more. And like you were thinking, like this was a national artist that were there because they had so many people at that set.
Well, they had the people and they commanded the stage. They owned
Yeah,
the
they did.
stage the way most national talents can, and it was really, really, really powerful to see. And I'm looking at their bio off of another application that apparently I shouldn't mention unless we're being paid. And God knows I'm still not getting paid. But a melodic audio assault is used in
Yeah.
that bio. And honestly, I mean, that hits it right on the head, man. It's fantastic. So yes, Dying Oath, check them
Yeah,
out.
check them out. I'm so glad they're coming back. Thrilled they're coming
Yeah,
back.
agreed.
All right. Next one. Because I can't, I mean, honestly, I can't speak enough of them. So our next one, this one was a kind of I don't want to say weird. I actually love the fact when this one came in. It just took me some like kind of digging like where they were. Um this is a band out of York, Pennsylvania. So here we are, another Northerners. They're a rock band, a trio, and they are. I will say this is a band that, much like kind of like Dying Oath, they've been doing a lot of this stuff on their own, and they've built up such a huge, huge fan base. One of the things that really kind of caught my attention, I think that a lot of people caught their attention, was back in 2018, they did a cover of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And it was one of those that made you go, whoa, like I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it actually is,
It's
you know,
really good.
yeah, it's super good, for a cover of a cover of a Christmas song. There are certain bands that can pull that off, but not every band can pull off something like that. And they did, and I loved it for that. And the band that I'm talking about is Small Town Titans. Small Town Titans has always been in my view at some point or another, because they do have a publicist that works really hard for them and puts out a lot of, attention grabbers for people to go see them. And anyone I know who's seen them has raved about them. Unfortunately, I don't think they've made it down my way yet where I could see them. So hopefully now I'll actually have the chance to catch them live. But I will say I do love them, and I think kudos once again to Blue Ridge for bringing a band like this on board, because they're going to impress the fans for sure, no doubt. Have you seen them at all live?
I have not seen them. Actually, the only song I had heard by them was their cover of The Grinch. And so I had to go and check them out. And they've actually, again, on said app, yes, I'm apparently using it way too much, but they had several covers that came up when I first pulled them up. And that's a band that knows how to put a very individualized spin on some otherwise potentially overdone songs. And then I started going down the rabbit hole with them because I just really enjoyed their sound, and their original stuff is just on point.
Yeah,
It's just
and
on
yeah,
point. Just
and
you talk about that middle of the road rock sound. There it is. I really, really dig that particular genre within rock. So I enjoyed that.
and I will say, like, so just music wise, I actually had to go to their website to go find their music because like nobody had info on this stuff. So what they have out there so far is that it looks like they did an EP that was self-titled, known as Small Town Titans. They then had an actual full studio album that they did called From Fight to Flight. Then they had a second one known as Reflection. Then they had another EP that's known as the Hybrid Sessions. And then they did what looks to be like another EP, which is called What Comes Next. But their most recent album is known as The Ride. And I'm going to take time to actually take time to listen to their music. But I know anyone who's talked to me about them has loved their stuff that has come out and raved about these guys. So
All right,
I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Courtney, I need you to speak up for a moment here. So they were in Orlando last September.
Where was I last September? I don't know.
Wasn't
Where was I last September, Danny?
Now. Get that negativity out of here, Bernard. I don't
That's
have
not
time.
negativity. Where was I last September?
I'm waiting for the Z snap here. All right. May have been Rebel Rock. I believe they were actually on that festival.
Well, okay. So if they were scheduled for Rebel Rock, that never happened.
That would certainly make sense.
Yes. So yeah. And we won't, if anyone wants to know about what happened with that particular festival, DM me, I'll tell you, but we're not going to discuss that.
September 23rd. Courtney,
that would have been right around that time. Yep.
Right around then. So, okay.
Yep. And that never, and the festival never happened. So
But
if
now
you
we
want to know more,
have
like I
now we
said,
have
DM
the
me, I'll tell you
opportunity.
about it, but I won't speak about it
Yeah,
here.
we do have the opportunity. Good job digging that up, Courtney. I'm impressed.
Yep. All right.
Let's get down to
So,
this last three.
yep, almost there. So the next one. Metalcore band, once again, out of Douglasville, Georgia. Came out in 1997. This is a band I have actually heard of and heard great things about. I've just surprisingly have not heard any of their music, and I don't know why. And this is really one of these bands that I kind of look at myself when I saw the announcement and said, why haven't I listened to any of their stuff? Because I've heard ripping things about them and so good, being so good. And the name of the band apparently is, derived from the real name of a very well-known actress named Danny. Who is it? Do you know? Tell me you don't know.
I don't know.
Marilyn Monroe.
Never heard of her.
And well,
I'm just kidding.
come over there. Anyway, and the band that I'm talking about here is Norma Jean, and I know that Amanda was super excited about this one. Like that was probably an understatement of terms.
That is absolutely okay because this band warrants the absolute freaking excitement.
All right. So let's talk about their discography, which is actually pretty big, which I like really, I didn't realize they had this many albums that were out. So we're going to start off with their first EP. It was known as Ludicrous and Travail. That was 1999. Then they had 5 EP in 2000 before they had their first studio album, Throwing Myself, in 2001. Then they had One Night Split with Beloved in 2002. And then their second actual studio album was Bless the Martyr and Kiss the Child. Then in 2005, they had Oh God, The Aftermath. And that actually hit #1 on the US Christian rock charts, apparently, and hit number 62 on the Billboard 200. Are they an actual Christian band? Annie, do you know?
Yes, they are.
They are? Okay. I didn't know that. 2006, Redeemer. That once again hit #1 on the US Christian rock charts. It made it to number 38 on the Billboard 200. 2008 was the Anti-Mother. That hit #2 on the US Christian rock charts, number 29 on the Billboard 200. They had a trend going there with these albums. 2010 was Meridonial. That hit #2 on the US Christian rock charts, made it to 45 on the Billboard 200. 2013 was Wrongdoers. That was #1 on the Christian rock charts, 37 on the Billboard 200. Then in 2016 was Polar Similar. Surprisingly, there's no numbers listed. Like it didn't chart on the Christian rock charts, I thought was odd. It made it #3 on the US hard rock charts. Go figure that. And it made it to 75 on the Billboard 200. And then in 2019, All Hail was their most recent album. That made it to #3 on the Christian rock charts. Did not chart on the Billboard 200 though, sadly. Made it #6 on the US hard rock charts. So that's your discography of Norma Jean, top to bottom. Have you seen them live yet at all, or seen them perform? I'm assuming you listen to their music. You have, lucky you.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about them.
I feel like Amanda should be on talking about this band right now because she could probably elaborate better than I can. Just yes, just hands down yes. You will get exactly what you need out of them. And I am apparently getting blown up here in the comments because it appeared that I was drinking, and it was Parlor Root Beer. Not a paid promo. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. But
not a paid sponsorship.
Nor a hint for Breaking Benjamin, Christina.
Nor a hint for Breaking
Benjamin. No, Norma Jean is absolutely insane. I think you said it was 97 that they came out, so it was probably 99, 2000 that I really started giving them a listen, and then really getting down the rabbit hole with them in probably my college time, just based on a couple of my friends at the time. And it would, if you are remotely interested in this genre, do not sleep on it.
All right.
Do not miss the set. Don't just yes. Hands down. Just
okay.
Yes.
They'll go on my list. They'll go on my list because I haven't seen them yet anyway, so I need to. Yeah, but yeah, okay, very cool. Let's see, two more to go. This one, another American rock band. See, they list as rock. I don't know. Like maybe I put them in the new metal range.
I would definitely put them in the new metal range.
Yeah, that's how I feel like they are. I don't feel like they're just like rock. They're beyond that. At a Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Amanda agrees. Just all of it. Listen to all of it. Thank you, Amanda.
Listen to all of it. All right. At Lancaster, Pennsylvania, formed in 2013. Their single debut was called My Fight, and that single was like, wow. This was to me like a new generation, I want to say, of like that new metal music. Something that was just very creative, over the top, dual vocalists, and they just have a vibe going that you just can't deny with them. I mean, you can't. And they are a returning Blue Ridge Rock Festival artist from last year, and the band is From Ashes to New. So the one thing with From Ashes to New is that their discography for studio albums isn't big, because they do a lot of, I always feel like they do a lot of smaller releases to put out more content, I guess, than going through a whole full cycle of albums. So they have their actual 2013 was their debut EP, self-titled. And then in 2015, they had another one called Downfall. That EP is absolutely solid. Their actual first release was in 2016 called Day One. That actually charted at number 2 on the US hard rock charts, number 4 on the alt rock charts, and it actually got to 53 on the Billboard 200. If that doesn't say anything about this band, nothing else will. You know, they are a powerhouse to me. I love these guys. 2018, they had The Future. That was another solid album. That hit number 14 on the US hard rock, 18 on the alt rock, and then 163 on the Billboard 200. And then their most recent studio album was called Panic. That was out in 2020, and that made it to 23 on the US hard rock charts, but did not chart on the alt or on the Billboard 200. But then they also had after that, because remember, now we're in pandemic times, right? By 2020, they then released 3 EPs called the Quarantine Chronicles, volumes 1, 2, and 3, all in 2021. So this is kind of like what I was saying, like they always seem to be bigger about getting out more content than having to just worry about getting a full studio album in. And they tour a lot, like a lot.
Yes.
You know, so that's hard to get into the studio when you're always on the road. But I love these guys. I can't wait. They put on such great sets. They're so good.
What's not to say about them? First off, their social media presence is epic.
Yes.
So very much like when we were talking about Afterlife and Nonpoint, I would put From Ashes to New right up alongside the two of them and see who is more engaged on social media. Because I feel like anywhere you look, the three of them are just there. And I absolutely, From Ashes to New though, part of it is they troll like nobody's business, and it's phenomenal. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And it shows, right? Like if you see any of their behind the scenes videos that they throw out there, they're just having fun, which is awesome, you know. And then, I mean, even you look at the covers that they've done for those EPs and otherwise, and they're just great. It's like they don't care what the mainstream says. They don't care what expectations are. They just get out there and do it, and they do it extremely well. So, I mean, their stage vibe, their just everything is just absolutely incredible. This is just one of those no wrong done in my book. A little side note. So Danny Case, when he joined the band shortly after, at Christmas time, he had thrown out on their page hey, I'm doing individualized videos. I'm just kind of sitting around killing time. If anybody's interested, message and, you know, let me know. Basically like a cameo before Cameo was a thing.
Right.
And so I had shot him a message, and he did a shout out to my kids for Christmas, which they, they thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. I'm of course on cloud nine because now all of a sudden, it's look what daddy did, and they're so young. They didn't realize I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I still don't.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was just really cool that he had taken the time and sent that. And then, and tonight when I was sharing with the world that these guys were announcing, you and I were going to be doing the live stream. So last year for Blue Ridge, I was very, very fortunate and found myself on stage during the Breaking Benjamin set. And a couple songs in, I realized that From Ashes to New was all standing there right in front of me. And all of us were just like jaws on the ground in awe of Breaking Benjamin's performance. But it was, for me, I think it was surreal in and of itself to be on stage watching them, but to be there alongside another band that is clearly on this exponential chart of just absolute incredible growth. And I mean, they're just doing what they do. Yeah, we were all just there in that moment, in that experience of watching this. It was just amazing.
That's cool.
So, it was just one of those real, like, oh my God, like we're all kind of in that special place of just alive. It was just really cool.
That's very cool. And the thing is with From Ashes to New is like their music is solid. I mean, just absolutely solid. Danny's vocals are amazing. Matt's vocals are amazing. You have Lance who's playing guitar. You have, Matt on the drums. I mean, these guys are just so good. I mean, they're so good. And I was gonna say your story is better than mine because the one thing I had is that when I was photographing their set that night, or that day, sorry, over on the URW stage, I caught a picture of Lance and he was like high kicking as he's playing. And I don't even know how I timed that right to get that shot. And I posted that on my Instagram. And the next thing I know, he tagged me in a story he posted.
That's cool.
And he's so funny. I love stuff like this. He posted the story of him with my picture of the high kick. And he's like, this looks kind of familiar. And then in the story, the next picture was a cat like licking the back leg. So the leg was up and it's a cat licking his leg. I was like, oh my God. Like you just so didn't do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, they're just such down-to-earth people. I mean,
they really
but their music is so good. It's so good.
Yeah. So
yeah, I can't wait for more stuff from them.
Huge win to have these guys on the festival again.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Last artist for tonight. We're going to discuss.
Last artist for tonight.
Yes. So this is good here. Dun, dun, dun. This is a all-female band. They've used this label, so this like came out of like from their side. And they define themselves as beautycore. So metalcore with a little bit of, I don't know, like maybe I don't want to say it's glam because it's really not, but it's I don't know if it's the definition because it's an all-female band, maybe it's just the way that they present themselves, but that's how they've been calling this as beautycore. They're three sisters and all out of Jacksonville, Florida. And this band is one of those that self-promotes the heck out of themselves. And I've seen them and covered them live. They're fantastic. And at the time when I did, I think at the time when I did cover them, none of them were of legal age yet. They're a very young band.
Yes, they are.
Such talent, it's ridiculous. And also they are a very Christian band too, especially based on their name, you would know that. A lot of times recently I've seen them just listed as GFM, but their full band name, for those who have never heard of them before, is Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. And I tell you, you will be so impressed by these three young women who are going to tear up the stage, and it will be jaw-dropping because I was blown away by them. When I saw them, I was like, wow. And they're very interactive. They're very engaged with their fans, and their stage presence is just great. I mean, it really is. For the discography, really quickly. So they have 3 albums that are out. 2015 was their first one, called The Death of Giants. 2016, that was a really big one for them, with the releases that they had. That was known as Identity Crisis. And their most recent one was in 2018, from last I have been able to find info on them, called On the Inside. Their mom is their manager. And I want to say, I know she's in some of the festival groups. I don't remember if she's in the fan zone with us, but her name is Cindy English. So if you see that name, that's their mom. And she represents them and represents them really well. So they're this band I was very impressed with, and I can't wait to actually see them again. I'm good with this. It's like I feel like Blue Ridge is like I like seeing like these younger bands who are not, necessarily signed to labels. They're not, they're independent groups. Like Small Town Titans is the same way, that they're giving them a chance to come onto a big stage with, with a huge attendance and getting a chance to perform in front of these massive crowds. And it's like, I love it. I really love this. And I love them for being here. They're going to be a great addition to the festival. Trust me.
So
have you had a chance to see them or listen to their music yet?
I have listened to their music. Absolutely love them. I believe they were just recently signed to Rockfest Records, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Joseph Rojas, who is in the band Seventh Day Slumber, his son Blaze is the drummer for that band, as well as another band on the side. But I say all that to say, see if I can find the comment here. David, didn't they start as a Christian rock band? Yes, they did, and they still are. They are signed to a Christian rock label, and they very much cut that. They cut the stereotypes out, and they don't care. They have a very powerful message that they do come out and shine with, but they throw down with any of them. I will put them head to head with anybody, and they just, when they were announced, I'm just ecstatic. Now, I'm going to find this real quick, so bear with me.
I'll bear with you.
Please be the bear, the Blue Ridge Bear here. The announcement for them, I think, is absolutely worth reading, because this is huge. Okay, GFM played Blue Ridge in 2018. During their performance, their guitarist CJ infamously broke her leg, but managed to heroically continue playing their set. Ooh. So this is 4 years ago. So you figure at that age, at that type of festival, and continued playing the set. Now, I'm not trying to make martyrs out of them, no pun intended for once, but that was, I mean, how rock star are you going to get, right? Like,
you don't get bigger than that. You don't.
Like, I mean, look at what Dave Grohl did when he did.
That's what I was about to say. That's a Dave Grohl thing.
I mean, if Dave Grohl can do it, and then she can do it, like, there's no stopping them. It's just I'm ecstatic to see them at it. So
yeah.
It's
just the fact that they're so talented at such a young age. And I interviewed them before. I can't remember if it was the mom or the dad, but like basically I think it was the mom who had said she had put them all 3 basically through musical instruments of some way, shape, or form when they were very young. So music has always been a part of their life since their get-go. And then, they just decided to go with it and formed a band and started writing music, and off they went. And it's amazing for like such a young age how talented they are. That's the thing that blows my mind. It's just
it really makes me regret not continuing playing the kazoo, because I was getting good and I just kept on getting cussed out. So here I am running this awesome live stream with you, Bernard. No offense. I could have been big, could have been bigger. I'll see if I can bring the kazoos back. Maybe we'll play with Amanda when she's on the spoons.
I will boot you.
We'll be called Hear Me Out, the most voted band on Blue Ridge.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That's the name of the band right there. You and Amanda, Hear Me Out.
Yep. Amanda on the spoons. I'll play the kazoo. We'll get somebody on a ukulele. What else can we get?
Megan said she can do flute.
Bring it on, man.
Oh, that's so funny. Let me step back here for a second.
You know what they should do? Just just for kicks, because this is Blue Ridge and this is where dreams come true. First, you're gonna have Ricky Bobby hosting. Mark my words. God, that would be so
viewers,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, right. So, like, is it Shiprock that does the stowaways?
Yes.
So what if Blue Ridge did something like that and got different band members to join up and be called Hear Me Out? And each year it'd be a different round to Hear Me Out. Like, this is how ideas are born, and this is how dreams come true. How fun would that?
Either that, or you have to call them the Ridge Runners.
I would be down either way.
One of the two. Oh my! Oh, we've got completely off topic. So let me go back to the comments here. Christina had asked, "Are they're cheerleaders?" I don't think they actually are. That's the outfits and getup that they've worn on stage as part of their presence, stage presence. I don't think they actually are cheerleaders. Not that I was aware. But I can tell you they're big video gamers. I do know that. They like video games. So, yeah, and here's another. So Christina's comment, and I will 110% agree with you, Christina, on this one. Blue Ridge is covering all the bases this year, even bases I didn't know existed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sums up
absolutely. Yeah. That, I mean, you could not have nailed that statement probably any better, with the variety of music that is coming through these announcements of all over the genres. And I love it for that. And it's funny because I keep seeing like people are tagging my like photo pit comments that I've made on some of these announcements, and they've been so negative. And I kind of look at them, I'm like, why? Like, number one, why are you even commenting if it's negative? You're like, I'll admit, me, I don't like every band announcement that's come through. You've been very vocal about some of them. But at the same time, and I'll talk about that here on the show, but I'm not running out onto the Blue Ridge Festival page and saying, oh my God, this band is trash. There's no need for that. Just bypass, move along. You don't like the artist, fine, but there's no need for you to tear someone else's down, to do that. We discuss it here as part of our artist announcements because we want to cover the artists, and we'll cover them in good light. I'll cover them in bad light. I'll cover them based on, my opinion, Danny's opinion on stuff, and everyone else's opinion who, comments here too. And that's what we have a discussion about them. But I'm not going to go out to the festival page or go into the fan zone and start ripping a band to pieces to say like, oh my God, I hate this band so much. Why? Don't, please, if you're watching this and you've done this, stop doing it. Like even Todd said it, and he's absolutely right. We don't need it. We just don't need it.
Keyboard warriors have no place.
Yes. Megan, you think you're absolutely right. Blue Ridge has a good middle, about having a good middle undercard. I agree. I think there are some festivals that don't focus on that enough. And I think people's feelings about, I think some people were kind of feeling that with Blue Ridge, with some of the recent announcements, that it's not like they're still too focused on like, give me a headliner announcement. Like, trust me, I want to see a headliner more than anyone else do. I get it. But I like seeing like this middle of the card road of where people are going to be, where some of these bands I've never gotten to see before, some of these bands that maybe people never heard of before. Like, I don't know if everyone would know GFM. Honestly, I don't think they will. I think they will after Blue Ridge. That's for sure. I think the same goes for Small Town Titans. Like I've never seen Norma Jean, so I mean, I love the fact when you get these announcements coming through that it's such a nice eclectic mix of stuff. We have super heavy with stuff like Down. We have rock radio stuff like with Puddle of Mud, Smile Empty Soul. We have, the metalcores and Norma Jean, like Killswitch Engage, Lamb of God. I mean, we're all over, and I like it for that. We have our straight rock like with Three Doors Down. I mean, what more could you ask for at a festival to get a nice mix of things? Then you have bands like Islander, that are coming out there. You have Volumes, as part of this kind of new mix of generation music. I mean, yeah, what more is there to say with stuff like that? Like, if you don't like the mix, I'm sorry. But this is what Blue Ridge is going to provide to you. I mean, this is what it is. And I think the other complaint that I've seen, and I think this is where people are forgetting, what's the tagline, Danny, about this particular festival?
Fan-driven experience.
Right. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that. And it's like, why are we seeing so many repeats? Because this is what you people are asking for. You know, I mean, if you're not participating in the votes and you're not participating in some of the other stuff that's going on, then you're not having your voice heard. But you know, I mean, but here's a good example. I mean, I know this lineup was already set, but did I not say just a few weeks ago that Theory of a Deadman would make a great addition, like, to the festival? I feel like my voice was suddenly heard. You know, but I mean, you know, it's this is one of the things when the votes come out and you have to take your part in it. But even, you know, the festival lineup has been saying these are the bands that the people have been clamoring for, right? These are the ones that have been most heard in like the fan zone, on the polls. You know, what are you going to expect when you're seeing some of these bands returning? Because this is what people are asking for. So this is what they're giving you.
You know, and you got to take it into stride, right? You got bands out of the number of bands that were there last year, Blue Ridge math, give or take, who was there, who was not, whatever. There is no way that anybody could have feasibly seen every band. And if you did, then I would love to pick your brain and understand how, because I don't think cloning is necessarily fully legal yet. No. So whatever it was, like, there were bands I wanted to see and I couldn't. So would I vote for them to come back? In a heartbeat.
Right.
But what I would also say is every comment, every poll, all of this information, if not read directly by Jonathan Sly, at least in some way, the aggregated feedback gets to him.
Yes.
And his heart is in such a place that he wants to make it feel like this was curated for each person individually, period. And he knows that he can't. Most of us understand that he can't. But I think when you know, anytime that you hear him talk about it, or you see where they're coming from with these polls, it's because he wants to make this for the fans. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Is unfortunately, you still have to look at that from a collective. You can't just say, well, this one person cannot stand Lamb of God. They would have much preferred to have heard Seether without Lamb of God cussing them out. Right. And so if that's the case, that's wonderful. But it's not just you. It's not just me. It's mostly Amanda, and that's okay. She's earned that. It's all of us, right? Like, we are the community. We are the fan-driven experience. All of us, all 33,000 in the fan zone, including every negative naysayer that's out there, all 100,000 people that are following and liking the Facebook page, even if 90% of that is Todd's alternative profiles that he's got going on, right? Like, we're all in this together. Whatever personality is here, we're all in this together. And without a doubt, Jonathan, Amanda, and the rest of the Blue Ridge team all see that, and they own it. They do everything what they can. I mean, it's just amazing.
Amanda literally just said, we text a lot about what I see on the fan zone and in the social comments section. I'm just saying, if he doesn't see it, we do. So Blue Ridge staff is they're seeing your words. They're hearing you for sure. But yeah, I mean, you know, and like I talked about it earlier in some of the earlier live streams we've done, I kind of talked about, you know, maybe I'm not keen on seeing so many of these repeats, but I get why. Exactly. But that's, you know, that's just me, and other people are going to have similar opinions, and that's fine. But, you know, just keep the negativity out of it. Like, you don't have to trash an announcement because there's just no need for that. It's just not. I mean, I won't go as far. No, I won't go as far as saying it. You know, if you're the type of person that you're just going to trash everything that's coming out of Blue Ridge because you're sitting there and saying like, oh, this is garbage. Oh, I hate this lineup. Why are you even there? Why are you in the group? Why are you even following the page? Because obviously, if you don't like it, why are you doing it? I mean, if that's like your fun time, then you got to rethink your life, dude. That's or doodad. I'm sorry. You know, that's just, there's no need for that stuff. Just move along. Just don't comment. Plain and simple. Okay, I'm done with that. So just to promo, so that's all the band's coverage now. Woo! Thursday through
We're up to
Thursday
speed.
through
All right. And they
today.
didn't announce while we're going through this, so we are actually up to date at the
Yeah,
moment.
we're up to date. So thank you, everyone.
Hallelujah.
Appreciate that. But thank you for being patient with us. So I'm going to recap real quick. Blue Ridge Rock Festival, September 8th through 11th, 2022, going to take place now at the largest rock venue in America, the
Woo!
1370 to 1400 acre
Blue Ridge Math
Virginia
Acreage.
International Raceway.
That's right.
Yeah. So, let's go through just one more time. So what was it? 12 reunion bands. A lot of them already been announced. We still have a few more to go. Acoustic sets. They're going to be for the VIPs and the Rockstar Pass holders.
That's right.
One farewell tour that has not been announced yet. We're still waiting on that one. I have this suspicion. This is, like I said, I don't know anything about the lineup. Okay. So bear with me with this. I have this suspicion that's not going to get dropped until we see the full lineup. That's just a guess. Because I think that I have this suspicion this is a bigger band and that's all going to come out like when the lineup drops, as a part of that. Just a guess. If I'm wrong, great. If I'm right on who I think it is, I may be sad. So I want to hit real quick, just so everyone's aware, on Blue Ridge Rock Fest page, when it comes to tickets, where everything is right now. Premium camping is gone. That's already been sold out. 4-day multi-passes right now are at level 4. 3-day multi-passes for general admission are at level 3. There's only 4 levels there. There's 5 levels for the 4-day. There's only 3 levels. I'm sorry. 5 levels for the 4-day, 4 levels for the 3-day. So for the 3-day, they're at the half. On the 4-day, we're past the half. For VIP, we're at price level 4. There is no further levels after that. VIP is probably almost gone. Don't wait on this for the 4-day VIP. Your 3-day VIPs are at level 3 currently. They have 4 levels there, so they're at the halfway mark for the 3-day VIP passes. The Rockstar passes are about at the halfway mark right now. That's only for 4-day passes. There's no 3-day Rockstar. So right now they're at price level 3. Club experience is open still. That's not sold out as of yet, but you have to be a camper in order to purchase it. Just FYI. So benefits being a camper. And I'll check the camping passes real quick just so everyone's aware so we can be fair. Tent camping right now, there's only 2 price levels. Tent camping's at price level 2. So it's either you buy it now or they're gone. RV camping only has 2 levels and they're at level 2 right now as well. So if you buy it, you're gone. Premium tent camping is out. Those are sold out, completely gone. RV camping with electrical hookups only has 2 price levels and they're at level 2 right now. So I have the suspicion those are going to be gone soon too. Glamping, do you remember that? So glamping is coming back. That will be a 5-night glamping experience. That just says coming soon, not there yet. So that covers everything, at least on ticket and camping passes of where we are. And don't forget, Blue Ridge has layaway available that you can actually go and you can put down. It's 20 at checkout, 25% of the total price is due. And then every month, 25% of the total is due until the full amount is paid. And just remember that, the last day to purchase a pass with that type of payment is June 2nd of 2022. Okay. Did I cover everything now, Danny, or did I miss something?
I think you got everything. I was distracted by Christina's comment about the club experience, which will be her and Amanda scratching records while Christina does the moonwalk. And all I could say is God bless you, because that will now sell out like this. So, yeah, everything about this festival, every day that goes by, every announcement that comes on, I'm just more and more hyped. I have, between these live streams, the fan zone, the Blue Ridge page, the Threshold page, the photo pit, everybody else that's covering, like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And
It is everywhere.
The hype is not some inflated imaginary, like, look at what we're doing. Like, this is absolutely incredible. And it is going to be epic.
As I will say this, as a media cover, when I covered media last year for Blue Ridge, when this festival has gone from where they were, in there was no 2020, right, because of pandemic. from the 2019 festival lineup to the explosion that happened in 2021, that buzz was massive back then for this festival. It has not died down yet. I mean, you're looking at a festival that is growing beyond means, and I suspect it will continue to grow as the years go on. So if you're watching this and has never been to Blue Ridge before, I would suggest, to me, I'd suggest signing up, coming check it out for yourself, especially at the new venue now for the Virginia International Raceway. I think there's going to be significant improvements from things that unfortunately we saw last year that will be much better handled and much better overall. And the only thing I'm kind of sad is, the Staylit Hill stage won't be there. No, I'm not sad by that. That hill was awful.
My calves are just still burning from that.
That hill was awful. I feel bad. Like Staylit, no offense to you as a sponsor, not at all. Wasn't your fault that you sponsored that stage, or that hill was just so bad. It was just everyone in media hated it. Just having to climb that hill with all that gear we carry and such. But in any case, but yeah, come this year. I mean, I mean, the lineup's already panning out to be such a great lineup as it is today, and we still haven't seen the headliners yet. I mean, like I said, I mean, there are bands already here that's been announced that I would come just for those, and that's at mid-card level. And I mean, I don't know what more you say to that. So I mean, if a festival could do it for me just on that alone, sold. Just sold. Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and call it a wrap. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and letting us go through and babble for an hour and a half, because we had so much to cover. Hopefully we don't run into that scenario again. I'll do my best to be less active. No, I won't. I'm still going to plug away as much as I can with the normal coverage that we do. So once again, Blue Ridge Rock Festival, September 8th through 11th, 2022. Buy your passes, buy your camping passes. If you're looking for a hotel, I will give you my input on stuff. Hotels are not necessarily close to where the venues are. I think like 30 minutes out seems to be the average, just based on where the raceway is compared to other places. And most of those hotels are already almost fully booked. So if you could find something, kudos to you for finding it. I already had mine booked ages ago, but just because I knew that this was going to go crazy once artists started getting dropped, and I wasn't waiting on it. So that's just the deal. So in any case, so thank you once again for joining us. My name is Bernard Cana. That's Danny Mazzeo over on my right. We will be back again on Wednesday at 8 p.m. to discuss everything for Tuesday's announcements and Wednesday's announcements. And then back again on Friday at 8 p.m. to talk about the Thursday and Friday announcements. Then when we come back again the following Monday, we cover the weekend of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And we'll continue to do that until the full lineup drops. And then when the full lineup drops, we'll probably do a special, lineup discussion, like a big one. Like maybe we'll dedicate like 2 hours just to go over the lineup and give our opinions about that and see what goes from there. See what chaos we can cause.
Bring it.
With the full lineup, whatever that comes to be. So we'll see. All right.
Everyone, thank you for hanging with us. Bernard, thanks for having me as always. Ladies and gentlemen, rock out. Enjoy. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, everyone. Good night.